Hello and welcome to this episode of the CHA Extracurricular Podcast. It's been a while, folks, but I am glad to be back here in the studio on Friday, May 19th. I am still Chris Keller, your host here, and I'm excited to have Nate Mullins, a senior, here in the studio. Nate, thank you for being on the show today.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Before we jump in, I'm going to share just a couple updates. First off, by the time you hear this event will have concluded, but tonight is the senior banquet. I'm looking forward to celebrating these seniors and just having a great time of food, fun, and fellowship. Next, on May 26th, which is next Friday, we have Play Day. And that is an event that will be for the whole school over here on Cooper campus. Folks, I'm going to be wrangling that chaos, so y'all pray for me and that it goes well. I am excited. It's going to be a fun-filled day. Also, as we keep on marching down the weeks, graduation is coming up, June 2nd. And like I said, we've got a senior here, so let's see what Nate thinks about graduation. Nate, what do you, has it set in yet? What's it like thinking that in just a few short weeks, you're going to be down in the gym, in the chapel, sitting on that front row, looking up at a couple administrators who are talking about you guys getting ready to conclude your high school career?
Well, I think first thing I'll be thinking about is, why would I get up in front of these people? But then it'll be, I'm actually about to graduate and be out of high school. That hasn't really hit in yet, but I feel like that's going to probably get me then.
Yeah, I think you're right. That moment when you're sitting in graduation, things start to get a little more real, that like, this isn't just something people talk to you about for a long time. It actually happens. You do graduate. But I bet you're a little excited.
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited. Glad to finally get to that point.
Yes. And then what? So, like, you wake up the next morning, no more high school. What's next for you, Nate?
I think then I'm going to start looking for a part-time or full-time job at either Lowe's or Home Depot, something like that, to actually get me some work experience.
Awesome. That sounds great. And then what are the plans following that?
I think it'd be to see around here who has the best type of welding classes and go for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so perfect. You start out at a hardware store, right? And kind of get your toes wet, so to speak. And, hey, maybe you can get some good deals on some welding gear.
Oh, yeah, that's the plan. Hoping that works.
Very smart. I like that plan. That's good. Let's see here. Now, when did you start going to CHA?
It would be my 5th grade year.
5th grade. So I'm thinking about 7 years then. That's awesome. So you've had plenty of time to be here and kind of like come up through CHA. What's it like to be how do we put this? 7 years at CHA, and now you're about to wrap it up. What do you think? Any lessons along the way you've learned?
I'd say it's definitely come to it with an open mind. It's a lot different from maybe what you're used to.
Yeah.
But it works better. You learn a lot more. The teachers are actually more interactive with you. It definitely helps if you need that type of education.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And like you said, having the more time that you kind of come through it, the more you start to understand it, I think. How about, some CHA memories? You got any good ones that stick out?
Well, my favorite has got to be during my 7th grade year when you first got here, Mr. Keller. It'd be during that one project you tried to have me do that I just did not want to do.
Well, what was that project? Do you remember?
I think it was about Narnia.
I think you're right. I remember a little bit. Yeah, we had kind of finished reading one of the books. I don't remember which one. And then what sort of project was I asking you guys to do?
I think we had to get in the group, write a script, and then make some type of podcast or something.
Ah, yes. That's starting to come a little more clear now. And you know what, folks? If there's one thing I know about Nate, he kind of mentioned this earlier, it's that he is not a big fan of getting up in front of people and speaking.
No, I'm not. Do not like it.
Oh, man. And so what kind of happened? Did we have to negotiate?
I think it began to where it was threatening to tell my mom, and that got me.
Gotcha. So did you end up doing it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. It's been a while. I can't remember. I'll have to try and see what it was that motivated you to do that. That's had to be something good. I don't know.
Yeah, it had to be.
Let's see here. Other memories. I know we chatted earlier about this, and you said that the Heritage Project, when we went to Feeding Southwest Virginia, that kind of stood out to you. Tell me a little bit about that project.
It was just going there, helping out, learning how much we're actually helping people get meals for their family for a day to a week, depending on what they need.
Yeah, I know it was pretty staggering to hear the numbers of how many people received those meals. But if they're receiving that, that means those are folks that might not have meals too, and that's really eye-opening. I know there was also a gentleman there who helped us, and he always makes a great impression on folks. Do you remember who that was?
His name was James. He's a great guy, loves the Lord, and loves to just help people.
Yeah, James is awesome, and he makes an impression on all those folks that come through there, I'm sure. Feeding Southwest Virginia is it's not a religious organization. I mean, it's a secular organization to help folks in need, but James was so willing to just speak about the Lord and about Jesus and just share some life lessons with our students, and it was awesome. He was really an inspiration to me, and I hope to you guys as well. All right. I got another one for you, Nate. A little while ago, I guess it's been maybe about a month or so, Nate came in and he had a pretty cool item with him that he wanted to show off. What was that, Nate?
That would be my great-grandfather's guitar. He had that from back in the 1940s. He served a little bit in World War II, and he had his own little bluegrass band like Mr. Keller.
Oh, I'm sure they were much better than Mr. Keller and his crew. All right. Folks, that guitar, it's beautiful. I can't remember all the model number, but it's a Gibson, and like Nate said, it's a pre-World War II instrument, which is awesome. Now, it's in really good shape, but there's a few updates we need to do, Nate. What do we need to do this thing?
We need to tune it and change the guitar strings. That definitely needs to be done.
Oh, yeah. And we've been working so hard in government class that I've decided that next week we need to just have a little break and take a look at this thing and fix it up.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good.
Does that sound like a good plan?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. And we'll teach you a couple chords to you, too, so you can be ready to jam. And, maybe we better learn a bluegrass tune.
That'd be great.
All right. I'll pick one out for us. Well, folks, we're winding down here a little bit. And the last thing I've got here on my notes is we're going to see what Nate's words of wisdom are. So, Nate, you're a senior. You've been here 7 years. When you look back and think about all the things you've learned, what would you share to anyone, but maybe even like a fifth grader or someone who's coming into CHA and, they think that this is going to be, they're in school forever, or, what's something you want to share? What's your words of wisdom, Nate?
Don't take school for granted. The people here are here to help you to become a better adult, better person with God, just better all around. And it may seem like it takes forever, but it comes by quick. Yeah,
that's right. When you look back, it seems pretty fast, doesn't it?
It does. It's like I can't even remember most of my stuff. It just seemed like these years have just gone by.
Yeah, well, Nate, I've really enjoyed having you as a student, and it's been a pleasure to be able to be there with you for all these years.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great to have you as a teacher. You've been great.
Well, thank you so much, Nate. All right, folks, that'll do it for us today. Thank you for being here and listening to this episode of the Extracurricular Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Nate, thank you for being willing to come on the show and talk with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. This has been fun.
Oh, you're so welcome. I hope to have you on the podcast soon in the future as a graduate.
That would be great. I'll do it.
All right. Folks, remember you can find the podcast on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. You can also listen and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. With that, may we be united by faith. Go Knights.